He's got a voice like solid gold and a twinkle in his eye. And keeping that eye firmly placed on our parliamentarian buddies is Tony Amos. We welcome Tony and the weekly political roundup.
Tony Amos.
Hello, Jared. How are you?
Good evening, good evening.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Politics, Tony?
Politics, indeed. The story of the oddballs and misfits, the rug bunchers and lifters, the rooters and looters of public office we proudly call our Parliament.
We love them.
Don't we love them, eh?
Yeah. Well, what a busy week last week.
Well, it was a bit of a week, wasn't it?
Controversial here, Tony.
A couple of controversial things happened. One of them, of course, was about a former Labour cabinet minister, Philip Tito Field, who was sent to prison, got a 6-year sentence for corruption. That was the decision of the court and the judge. But there's one thing we should remember. Tito Philip Field was an honest and honourable man. Then he became a member of Parliament. That's what happens sometimes. And of course, something else that happened last week in other parts of the world, some ancient dinosaur footprints were found. In fact, it's been established they are the most ancient dinosaur footprints ever discovered.
Wow.
Incredible, isn't it, eh? But the most intriguing and remarkable aspect of those dinosaur footprints is the name of the dinosaur who left those prints.
Oh, what's the name?
Roger Douglas.
I liked Roger Douglas. He was a good guy. But anyway,
So did his mother.
how is the Prime Minister doing?
Oh, the Prime Minister's going through some rough times following his appearance in America on David Letterman's late-night TV show, and then the following scandal, yes, the sex scandal expose about David Letterman. The sad truth has come out about Shonky Jonky.
Oh, how was he involved?
Well, he wasn't. That's the problem. You know, he wasn't enticed upstairs to the love nest at all. Poor John.
Another big one's rearing its wonderful head, and that's the Rugby World Cup in the Maori Channel.
This event's only a few weeks long, isn't it? It's in 2011, so it's a couple of years away. It's only going to be with us for a few weeks, but it's throwing the country into turmoil. And now there's a debate about Maori television, whether it should or shouldn't have broadcasting rights, the free-to-air broadcasting rights, for the coverage of the Rugby World Cup. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good idea. And I must say, I must qualify it here at this stage, Maori television, in my opinion, a good channel. In fact, it's the home of one of my favourite TV shows, Friday nights, Ho Mai Te Paki Paki. But it's not about Maori television. It's more about taxpayer-funded stupidity, in my opinion. There's part Maori Cabinet Minister Peter Sharples handing out $3 million of taxpayer money to assist in their bid to get it. Now, is that what we taxpayers expect from our hard-earned taxes? Do we want to spend on assisting a bid that might compete with other channels that we support as well? I think not. And in fact, in the words of the double-dipping dipstick from Dipton, Deputy Prime Minister Bill English, it's not a good look.
I'm quite in favour of the Maori Channel doing the rugby. I am in favour, so it's not often we disagree.
Well, we don't really disagree. We disagree in a little bit of the principle there, but the point is nothing wrong with that, but should a cabinet minister just be handing out money willy-nilly to assist a bid? I mean, this opens the door for all sorts of inappropriate action, in my opinion.
And going back on something you said earlier, Tony, are you happy with the sentence for Tito Philip Fields? Do you think I think that it's excessive. What's your opinion?
There was an incident of someone dragging someone out of a car and punching them and the other fellow dying in an Auckland street not too long ago. The sentence for that tragedy was a 3-year jail term. 6 years for being a corrupt politician. It sort of puts the whole justice thing a bit askew, doesn't it, eh?
And there was that incident with the 5 Maori people who...
the exorcism, for want of a better word. That's right. 5, those people, the young woman died and nobody was locked up for that. They got a community sentence. So, it's a bit dodgy, this one, methinks. Tariana Turia and I don't agree on too much in the world, but I did hear her comments last week, and she said that Mr. Field had fallen from grace and he'd suffered enough, and he has. He's fallen from political grace, he's lost his privileges as well. In his own Pacific community, he's fallen from grace there too. I mean, the man has suffered punishment enough, was what Tariana Turia was saying, and I'm inclined to agree with that.
I agree too, Tony. I agree. But we have our wonderful friends in Parliament to sort all these things out, our list MPs, Tony.
There's a story of a list MP, another list MP, he's out shopping, being dispatched to the supermarket to do the shopping. He's in the shopping mart and he catches the eye of an attractive young woman, and she looks at him and he said to her, do I know you? And she said, I think you're the father of one of my children. And the poor old list MP, his mind went into overdrive at a word like an old computer, and he thought, crikey Dick, the only time he'd been unfaithful to his wife was, he thought about it, and he said to her, are you the stripper that was at my friend's bucks party and you and I did the business on the billiard table with everyone looking while your friend whipped me with a wet belt? She said, no, I'm your son's school teacher. That's politics. Remember, never turn your back on a politician.